why is this one guardrail being such a problem?
A couple searched for answers after their son's crash on I-75. What new documents 10 Investigates uncovered reveal about what was supposed to be along the interstate and what advocates say needs to happen to protect you on the road.
We've shown you dozens of improperly installed guardrails, and for months, 10 Investigates has been asking why these things are on the side of the road.
Now they've uncovered new documents that show a possible loophole, some experts say, into how guardrails are improperly installed in the first place. This is 10 Tampa Bay at 6. I'm Carolina Lead.
I'm Josh Sidorowicz in for Dave tonight. It's a potentially deadly issue our team has found not just all over the Bay Area, but the entire state.
Their reporting has led to major fixes and full reviews of every inch of guardrail in Florida. Some safety advocates say a certificate of compliance should actually resemble what's on the roadway, but a guardrail on I-75 did not match, according to online images taken just weeks later.
So tonight, 10 Investigates' Jennifer Titus is taking a closer look at why some say more needs to be done when installation or repairs are done to guardrails on the side of our roads.
It's hard to be strong.
Yeah. The pain
It's hard to talk about.
of losing a child
He was loved by so many people.
is unimaginable.
We would do whatever it takes for his name, for this to be changed.
22-year-old Hunter Burns died in an accident in March 2020. His truck crashed into this guardrail along I-75 in Manatee County.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
3 years after the crash,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it definitely is.
while visiting the site of the accident,
Oh, wow.
perched along a fence feet away,
Wow, really?
Yeah.
they found the door panel from their son's truck.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
definitely his door.
But the DeFilippos continue to search for answers.
It wasn't like I was going to go and search for something. It wasn't like, I believe, I don't know if the guardrail would have saved Hunter. I don't know that. I can't speak for that. But now knowing what I know, the guardrail failed miserably at being able to protect any person on the roadway.
10 Investigates has learned the guardrail was not only improperly installed, it was Frankensteined.
Frankensteining, it goes back to, the monster Frankenstein. It is when you take parts from different systems and mix them together, and what you get is a monster.
Safety advocate Steve Eimers has unfortunately found many monsters on the side of the road.
Frankenstein guardrails, to the public, to most DOT workers, are going to look right. The issue is they don't work.
He says after looking at what was installed at the side of the road where Hunter crashed, it was never going to work.
This is one of the most egregious installations I have ever found involving a fatal crash. They've got to figure out how it happened, and it can never happen again. We had a 22-year-old young man who hit a signpost and was incinerated. Yeah, I am mad. And I think the people of the state of Florida should be mad too.
And this may make you even more mad. We requested this certificate of compliance and final acceptance from FDOT. It's for the guardrail where Hunter Burns crashed. There's a stamp that says this project was constructed in substantial compliance with the plans provided by the engineer of record. Our experts tell us, though, that the certificate of compliance and what was actually installed doesn't match.
It's essentially stating that a specific and accepted guardrail has been installed at this location.
We sent the documents to Kevin Schrum, a structural engineer and professor at the University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Okay, so if the state does require a certificate of compliance, would you expect that certificate of compliance to match the final product that is installed on the road?
Yes, absolutely.
We had him compare the certificate of compliance to the street view images of the guardrail, one from June 2018, a month after the final acceptance on the guardrail's documents were signed, and the image from September 2019. taken just before Burns' crash.
I wish I could say I was surprised.
Schrum says the guardrail in 2018 was improperly installed. It was upside down and backwards.
Sometimes the certification process is a little bit not as robust as it should be. I've spoken with some contractors in the industry, kind of recently actually, at some national trade shows, where they talk about this process quite a bit, where the certification process, someone will just drive by without even stopping and then check it all off as certified. Some things you can catch just by driving down the interstate at highway speeds. Some errors you can see. But a lot of it is really subtle, and it's something that you really have to kind of get out of the vehicle and inspect in person.
We tried getting answers from the engineer who signed off on the certificate of compliance, but the phone number is no longer working.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
We also tried to contact the project engineer by email and never heard back. Then we reached out to the Florida Department of Transportation looking for answers as to whether this is the only form of documentation they have regarding what's being installed on the side of the roads. Photos of the final project are not required. They declined an on-camera interview but told us in a statement the certificate only confirms design plans were accurately built during a specific construction project, adding the certificate may no longer represent what is out in the field if there were changes at some point during needed maintenance. Schrum noted changes in the photos from June 2018 and September 2019, indicating sometime during that time frame the guardrail was changed.
It makes no reference to splicing the guardrail together.
The guardrail, at some point during those 2 years, was turned into a monster.
That is the issue here, is that the things that are supposed to keep you safe, there's no, like you said, accountability for it. You know, just go out there and put them on however you want to, and you know, if someone crashes into it, we'll figure it out then. We want for them to be fixed, and fixed correctly and put together correctly so that other parents and families don't have to walk this out.
Yeah, and it's why one safety advocate tells us that more protocols need to be in place when it comes to installation and or repairs of guardrails. Now, FDOT tells us because of our findings, they are reviewing the system they have in place. FDOT tells us the department understands the importance and necessity of routinely evolving practices and procedures with ever-changing designs, standards, and materials used on our facilities as a reminder of the action supporting our commitment to ensure the safety of our roadways is the added efforts to review guardrail concerns on our entire state system, including the practices and training involved with them. Jennifer Titus, 10 Investigates.
And it's not just this change, but because of Jen's reporting, the state has also begun a full statewide review of every inch of guardrail in the state.
And that started in February. FDOT tells us the in-field review of guardrails statewide is a tedious and complex process. With the complexity and carefulness of this review, they say they are working to complete the in-field review.
Once that happens, they will use that information to complete a full evaluation. They say right now it's just not clear how long that will actually take. We were told it was supposed to be done soon.
When it is complete, we are hoping FDOT will finally sit down with us and do an interview about those findings. You can see other stories from the 10 Investigate series, Unguarded, including some guardrails that experts say are potentially problematic at Disney. It's streaming now on 10 Tampa Bay Plus and 10tampabay.com/10investigates.